everybody, it's Emily from Living Plantfully, and today I am here with another recipe for you guys. This recipe is one that I have been meaning to share with you guys for a really long time, but I hadn't gotten it quite perfect yet. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a homemade vegan Nutella. And I live in Italy, and fortunately for me, there are a ton of vegan Nutella options here, and they are absolutely delicious, incredible. But we're going to be leaving here eventually, and I want to be able to make some really good vegan Nutella at home in the comfort of my own home. So I decided to do just that. Tested out a couple of ways to make it, and I think I got it perfect for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump right into the recipe. So I've seen a bunch of homemade vegan Nutellas online, and for some reason they all have like a bunch of ingredients, some ingredients that I couldn't find. And also another thing is that they look really like grainy from the ones that I've seen and the ones that I've tested. So I kind of wanted to make one that was really smooth and really creamy, which is like how actual Nutella is and how the vegan ones that I find here are. The key with making this recipe, I will say it over and over again, is patience. Patience is the key. I know patience is a virtue and not all of us have it, but you need to have patience with this recipe because you'll see in just a little bit. So to start off, I have here my hazelnuts. Now I was lucky enough to be able to find pre-toasted hazelnuts, and if you can't find pre-toasted hazelnuts, that's totally fine. All you have to do is toast them for a few minutes, and then in a kitchen towel you just want to rub them together once they cool off to remove the skins. So I have here the pre-toasted hazelnuts, but they're cooled off already. I like to go ahead and give them another little toast. That way all of the oils in our hazelnuts get nice and softened, and that way it makes for a creamier Nutella. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these on my baking sheet, and then I'm just going to pop them in my oven for about 5 to 7 minutes until they get a little bit more golden, and you'll definitely be able to smell it as well as see kind of like the oil, the sheen on our nuts. So I just pulled them out, and this is what they look like, nice and golden brown. And you basically want to let your hazelnuts cool down, not 100%. Once your hazelnuts are nice and cooled down, then all the magic is going to happen in our food processor. The first thing that we want to do is add our toasted hazelnuts into the food processor. And essentially what we're going to be making at first is hazelnut butter. So I'm gonna let my food processor go, and you're gonna notice that at first it's going to turn into kind of like hazelnut meal, and then after that you gotta let it run, and eventually it is going to turn into a very smooth and creamy hazelnut butter consistency, and that's what we want. It does take a few minutes, so again, patience is key. Just keep an eye on it. You want to open it up every 2 or so minutes to kind of scrape down the sides and the bottom. That way everything gets nice and incorporated, and every single little piece of hazelnut gets nice and blended up. So once you get to this sort of like, again, very creamy, runny hazelnut butter consistency, then it's time to add in all of the other delicious flavors. So I am going to be adding in some vegan chocolate chips that I found, and I will link down below the brand that I use. These are vegan chocolate chips, and I just melted them down over a double boiler. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that into my food processor with the hazelnut butter. With that, I'm gonna add in a bit of very good high quality cocoa powder. So I'm adding both because I'm using my melted chocolate chips as kind of like my oil, because most of the Nutella recipes that I found had added oil, and I didn't really want to add any extra oil. So I'm using the melted chocolate chips as well as some unsweetened cocoa powder, some confectioners sugar for sweetness, and you may have to adjust this a little bit depending on how sweet your chocolate that you choose to use is. So if you choose to use like an unsweetened or bittersweet type chocolate chip, then you might need to adjust the sugar a little bit, but you can test that at the end. So go ahead and add in your confectioner sugar. Then we're gonna add in a little tiny pinch of salt. And last but not least, we're gonna add in some vanilla extract. All right. So now that we have all of our yummy ingredients in our food processor, we're going to let this go. And when I say we're gonna let it go, we're gonna let it go for a good amount of time. Trust me, this is key to making that super creamy, very smooth Nutella that we want. Well, at least that I want. I don't know about you guys. So be sure that you're also opening your food processor every few minutes and scraping down the sides so that everything can get nice and incorporated and blended in. All right, guys, so after about 10 minutes, this is what you should have. Oh my goodness, how good does that look? Are you seeing this? Oh my goodness, that looks so good. So our Nutella is pretty much ready to go. Just gonna go ahead and transfer this into my little container. And it is a bit runny now. So you just wanna let it set in your refrigerator for just a few minutes. 30 minutes should do, and it will thicken up nicely and be the perfect Nutella consistency. And there is my super easy homemade vegan Nutella. How freaking incredible does this look? I mean, this is exactly what I remember from actual Nutella. This is it right here. I'm gonna give this a taste. I know what it tastes like. It's amazing, but you know, I'm gonna have it with a little strawberry here. You can have it with some bread, crackers, whatever you want. Oh man, look at that. Are you kidding me? That is perfect. Y'all, I can just eat this by the spoonful. So you should have enough to fill up a small little container like this. I'm only making a little bit, but you can totally double, quadruple the recipe. I just made a small amount because your girl can't keep her hands away from this. If I had like a huge container of this in my cupboard or in my fridge, I wouldn't stop eating it. So, that is so good. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's video. If you like this recipe, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget that if you make this recipe or any of my other recipes, I would love to see a picture of it. So go ahead and tag me on social media using hashtag livingplantfully or @livingplantfully. I cannot wait to see you guys' recreations of my recipes. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so. It is right down there. And don't forget, click the little notification bell that is right next to it so that way you won't miss any of my videos every single week. Enjoy this Nutella. It is freaking amazing. You need to make this. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.